sitting here with my good friend Mark Blackburn, top 50 instructor, top 100, top whatever. I wanted to have you on to talk about why instructors hit a roadblock with a player and where that problem causes relationship issues, and then how do coaches overcome it, because so many coaches put so much of their effort and their time into seeing a player improve, but the natural evolution is going to hit a roadblock somewhere. So talk to me about that.
So as coaches, our goal is to fix people, right? We want to make them better, but a lot of times that means that we kind of bypass, if you like, and navigate that first part you and I've talked about that I'm big on in my codification of the connection. Mm-hmm. The first part, if you don't do the groundwork on developing the relationship first, then it's really difficult to create the trust, and at some point you're going to get to the situation where there's a rift because you haven't done the personal development with the player. So for me, a lot of times the player wants to know that you're invested in them personally, not just their golf game. So to bypass the inevitable, let's just say, conflict or disagreement, you've got to build bridges and build a relationship that's going to sustain through that, no different to a marriage. So for me as a coach, I'm always trying to develop that relationship more about them as an individual and how they are as a person. I'm a coach, I'm part of their team, but I also need to know them as a person in order for me to be able to let them get me to help them.
That's a dance, isn't it? Because
100%.
You're having to hold accountability, you're having to establish credibility, but you're also having to give them the flexibility to push back and be resistant, right? Resistance is, it's
100%, because
it's not a bad thing.
No, and the resistance is inevitable with learning because frustration is a normal part of learning, right?
Yep.
So they're going to push back when they get frustrated because they're trying to navigate something. But if you've got a bond or a relationship that's strong enough for them to trust you, then that you want them to be just like a kid almost, that they can be completely vulnerable and express how they feel without being judged. And I think a lot of times as instructors, we don't have the soft skills and the human skills to be able to navigate that. So that's someone like you who's an expert. So us as coaches, we generally look to you and go, hey Brett, this is what this player's saying. What do you think about that? And you'll be like, well, that's completely normal, and here's a way for you to handle that, navigate, disperse that stress. And so I think some coaches are inherently good at the soft skills, some coaches are good at the technical skills. The great coaches are able to blend those two pieces, and I think the more time us as coaches spend outside of the realm of the technical X's and O's and look at more of the personal development and the self-help stuff, I think you can navigate that stuff way, way better. A lot of the stuff that's in your world.
But do they teach that in the coaching development ranks? Because
I mean, I don't think that
you probably even could you?
No, I mean, you either are a person that's good with people and can read people and has empathy, or you're not. Some of the smartest people are completely socially inept. They're not going to be great coaches. And there's some people that are really gifted socially, not too competent X's and O's, but they'll be great coaches. Like, you can look at the best coaches over time, you wouldn't say that they are necessarily the best X's and O's, but they're really good at taking that information.
Let's go to a coach that I know you love, Alex Ferguson.
Love him, yeah.
Okay, great X's and O's?
I think good X's and O's, I think he's off the charts human skills. People, and everybody's different. So if you read his biography...
managing a payroll that's off the charts.
Yep.
So superstars from all over the world at
Managing personalities is the key to it. And as a coach, I have lots of different personalities. And my goal is always to make my players, the ones they dislike, to create relationships to where they actually end up liking each other and people get on, and there's some harmony and there's synchronization to where they can all work in an environment. I think Alex Ferguson was incredible about that. And if you actually read his biography, he talks about how he dealt with David Beckham, how he dealt with Ronaldo. They're all very different. And a good coach is, you have to be a chameleon, right? You have to kind of teach different people different ways, but you also have to relate to them differently. Some people are going to be high maintenance. Yeah. Some people are going to be super easy. They're like, that's my easy child. But a good coach has the ability to know that. You develop a bond to the point where you can navigate the hard times. There are going to be hard times, there's going to be conflict, there's going to be disagreement, but it's one of those things where if you do things the right way and there's always a respect, they understand that everything's coming from a place of nurturing and the bigger picture to help them. You don't want to be a yes man. There's got to be some disagreement, but you've got to be able to navigate the situation. And I think as coaches, those are the skills that people need to learn. And I think some people are better at that than other people. At the end of the day, golf is about, can you put the ball in the hole really quickly? That's the best player, right? Can you develop a repeatable face to path? Okay. Does your body allow you to do that? And do you have an understanding of what you need to do to make that happen? Beyond that, golf is about, and you look at good coaches who have had success, is about getting the person engaged, motivated, believing they can do something beyond their capacity right now. That's what great coaches do, so that they can perform to the highest level possible. Week in, week out, that's what you're trying to do on the PGA Tour. And the coaches are successful, create a belief system in the player that they're coaching that is such that they do play well all the time. And they may have deficient technical X's and O's, but those are superseded by their, if you like, your world, their belief system and their mental.
They have a superpower.
100%. And those are the intangibles. That as a coach, you're trying to help people develop because you're trying to make everyone believe that they're bulletproof and they can do anything regardless, even if their skill set says they shouldn't. Because I've had players that shouldn't perform like they do and they're doing it consistently because you create a belief system and a confidence that is, okay, well, it's golf and I'm going to be able to do this.
As a coach, what's your biggest fear?
That somebody doesn't have the tools or toolkit, as we talk about, and I probably have an unfair advantage because a lot of the things I do come from a lot of our conversations over the years of coffee, drinks, and all types of stuff. But like, if they don't have the toolkit to be able to handle a particular situation, my goal, that's my biggest fear, is did I not prepare them?
So if they fail, and you look at it and go, crap, I wasn't honest, or I didn't give them the tools, or I was afraid to go into that area with them, and I knew it got exposed.
Yeah, I mean, that's what you're always trying to prepare them for any scenario, right? If you like, the spontaneity and the randomness of actually performing is such that you need to give them the tools to where they can adapt in any situation. And if I haven't done that, then I've kind of failed. So if they tell me I couldn't do this or they couldn't do this because of something I didn't prepare them for, then that's on me. Now, if it's something where they have forgotten something, or if I did tell them ahead of time, like in a prep talk or in a prep, and I said, okay, well, look in your Coach Now account, or look at the notes I sent you in that text last Tuesday, and it's in there, now that's on them. But if it's a case of I didn't prepare them for it, now that's on me. So that's my biggest concern. So you're always trying to prepare them for any scenario and doing the things necessary. So you're always trying to over-deliver. Like, you don't want to over-coach, but you still want to over-prepare.
Yeah. When you look at young coaches, and you mentor a lot of young coaches, you mentor your lab and your group to grow. When people call you and say, hey, they see you speak at this open forum, they see you whatever, man, I want to do that. Where do you send them first? I mean, I know you believe in the body, you believe in the technique, but what's that differential? Is it you mentioned it earlier about self-help, but where would you tell them? Like, if you want to have a different tool, you want to have a different weapon, what is it going to be? Looking at the next 10 or 15 years of coaching.
I think that the personal development side of things and your ability to read the person is just as significant as your ability to look at the golf swing or assess their body, those other things. I think that they're all complementing skill sets. But the soft skills we're going away from that. People have their nose in their phone, they don't have the social interactions, they don't understand contact, they don't know when to engage someone, those things. I think coaches need to learn that, because you can learn the X's and O's, but then it's the application of the X's and O's, and then what's the conduit to that, which is the people skills. So go down that road, because what you as the community of sports psychologists bring to the team is you're able to take people that are very proficient technically, but then, how do you dumb that down? What's the framework, the foundations we talk about, you've kind of led me into? How do we create that for each player so they have a framework? That's the part. Like, you need to be able to do that on the fly yourself. Give the tools that you will give people. Okay, well, now I understand this and I understand this. Okay, now I've got to try and put all those pieces together to help the person. So anything anyone can do to understand the human, how the mind works, some simple concepts on that. And then, okay, well, how do I get somebody to do what I want them to do? I think selling is a very underrated skill as a coach.
I agree.
Like, anything you can do on selling, because I'm selling you a solution.
100%.
Like,
if I can't make you want it, then I mean, it's amazing.
So storytelling, selling, and if you look at good coaches, they do that. But you need to also be able to back that up with some meat and potatoes of the technical piece. And I think young coaches, under the allure that if they have all this information, that they can trump someone that has a lot of people skills. But the reality is, you can sell somebody one thing that they believe in that may be very trivial, but they buy into and they grab onto and they're all in on, and they can have amazing success, versus giving them the right information that you can't sell and you can't pitch. They never really latch onto it, and they struggle. And we see that on the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
You can give someone the right information, they don't buy into it, and there's not that connection we talk about. You're screwed. So it's trying to, the young coaches need to figure out, how do you interact with the person? What are the social skills necessary, soft skills, to be able to be proficient? A lot of that is also learned by failure.
It's screwing up a bunch of relationships.
Got to do it. And that's why I tell everyone, teaching bad players, a bunch of them, and figuring out how to do it. And when you do it in rural Alabama, when people really can't understand what you're saying,
You're trying to get them out of the deer stand to come in and hit balls?
100%. You've got to be effective. And then at the end of the day, you're trying to make a quick change, but then the connection is what allows you to do that. So figure out what's unique about you. How do you connect with somebody? How can you do it? That's what young coaches, that's the part that you can't expedite just by reading.
Yeah. All right. I'd be remiss to not mention it, as a dear friend, just recently, U.S. citizenship. That's got to be pretty damn cool.
America, baby.
America, you're voting in this next election.
That's right.
No. All right, that's amazing.
Yeah, no, it was super
long process.
Super emotional for me. Like, it was funny. My wife was there, my kids, some family friends kind of surprised me. It was in Montgomery, our state capital, and it was an emotional. It was like, I'm kind of like, you got to take the oath. You're getting a note from the president. All these other things, and then I kind of saw my wife, and I was done, and I just was bawling like a kid because I was hugging her super tight because I was like, I finally did it. Like, your kids are here.
What does it take to do it though? For us that are listening that are born in America, where you don't know.
Yeah, but it's one of those things. I think it's a compounding of over years and years. I've been here since 1993 in school. Graduated from here. Like, my kids are from here. My wife's from here. I've had 2 green cards. It's one of those things when you actually go to the application, which I started 18 months ago. It was actually quite quick, and they were really, really good about it. They were like, okay, well, they want to see your taxes. Yeah. Well, I do. Okay, I mean,
you're paying your share.
They're like, oh, okay, well, you're definitely contributing here.
Yeah.
Versus some people, and it was really easy, and it was, it wasn't a big struggle. So I mean, it was really.
You had to take a test.
Yeah, you have to take a test, ethics test. It's 100 questions on the U.S. history, which is pretty cool, and my kids help me study for it, and they're big into like American history.
Did they knock the evil redcoats from?
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, they did. Yeah, the evil British.
And we just
they overtaxed us without representation.
Yeah, we just took our kids to see Hamilton in Nashville.
Yeah,
so
saw that.
They enjoyed that. It was good. So yeah, it was a cool day. I told my kids I wanted to take them to the Civil Rights Institute. Yesterday was Martin Luther King Day, so we did that after I got my citizenship, and that was pretty emotional for them. They're like, I can't believe people did that to people in this country. And I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, only 40 years ago, 50 years ago.
So, but it was cool. So yeah, I mean, being a citizen is something I'm super proud of. I'm fortunate to still have my British, but yeah, I mean.
So you maintain dual citizenship?
Absolutely. So I'm very, very fortunate. Love it. Love being in Greystone in Birmingham, which is a phenomenal base. Very, very supportive membership. But it's great. So we have a great academy. We have 5 instructors. We've added another instructor for our junior development. So that's our focus in 2020 is to start really growing the nucleus of junior members at Greystone and really try and get that out in the community, try and rival our buddy Eric Eshelman, Teacher of the Year over at Birmingham Country Club, to really grow the junior side at Greystone. So 2020 is exciting. Hopefully it should be better as I'm an American now.
Yes, that's right. Yes. Yes. Just American with I guess it's a Montana accent or something.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks so much for doing this.
You got it, buddy.